What's up, everybody? It's Matt here to talk to you about the differences between a dietitian and a nutritionist. And I brought my boy Johnny here to help us out, man. So, hey, could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? Help us out with this topic between the differences.
Yeah. So I'm Johnny Jones. I have been a registered dietitian for 11 years, since 2007.
Okay.
So one of the things is that I do is I talk to people about nutrition on a daily basis. And I do this in partnership with my wife. Me and my wife have our own business, Core Elevation Fitness and Wellness, where we partner. She is a physical therapist and a personal trainer. I bring in the nutrition side. And so we partner and we talk to people about wellness, their personal journey. The difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian all boils down to education.
Got you.
And so you'll find very reputable programs from a personal training standpoint, exercise physiology training standpoint, that have nutritionists or nutrition certifications. And like I said, pretty reputable,
right.
Even you'll see them at the WIC department. They did their 4 years of nutrition education, and so they're able to talk about nutrition.
Right.
The difference, however, is that you won't see a nutritionist on the floors in the hospital.
Gotcha.
So a dietitian will be not only go there 4 years, but they'll go and do the clinicals. They'll do an internship in the hospital setting and other various settings where typically they last around 8 to 12 months. And some of them are even longer, 2-year rotations where you learn a lot about nutrition. You get it firsthand knowledge and actually put it into practice. And at the end, you will have to pass a national board test.
Okay.
And once that is done, you pass, you get the certification in the mail, you are an official registered dietitian.
So like, help me out with one thing then. So like from an environmental standpoint, even situational, right? Mm-hmm. Do we see more dietitians when it comes to like the hospital and clinical side, when there may be more medical ailments or issues going on, versus a nutritionist where that's more tied to, let's say, a fitness center, a personal trainer, trying to just lose some weight?
Yes.
Okay, all right, got you.
So you'll see a dietitian primarily, if you've ever been in a hospital longer than 5 days, you've met a dietitian. If you've been in a hospital and you had some kind of major surgery, you've had a dietitian. We are there to make sure your nutritional stores, we don't try to improve them, because in a hospital it's hard to improve your nutritional stores, but it's to either maintain or prevent drastic decreases and declines. So we look at clinical markers in your body to say where you are, nutritional status, where you at, and we assess you. We see how many calories you need to try to maintain as best we can your nutritional stores, because we want to make you healthy well enough to go back home.
Got it. So do you ever find a situation where like people have been taking advice from a nutritionist and it's conflicted, or maybe you had a client or a patient or whatever and they're like, well, my nutritionist said this, but they have an issue going on, and it's conflicted with what a dietitian recommend?
I have had that, especially, typically I see that when someone has a complex medical issue.
Okay,
so they may have diabetes going on, they may have high blood pressure going on, they have some other comorbidities going on. What their nutritionist is saying to them is not necessarily wrong. It's just that they probably need to take it another avenue or another route to consider, oh, well, maybe I can't do that because I'm going to have an adverse reaction or impact on my health because I'm either not getting enough calories, or maybe I'm getting enough calories but just getting it in the wrong sources that's throwing off my macronutritional balance. So there are some things that we would sort of intervene in just to put them back on a better track. Not and like I said, not knocking what nutrition does.
Of course.
They are some pretty knowledgeable people. And a lot of what they do is more of, they can coach people through their problems, especially with nutrition. We all can do some accountability in that standpoint. But if there's more comorbidities going on, there's other disease processes at play, that's when you want to go to a dietitian.
Got it. All right. So last question about this. So do you find that because of what you do, you and your wife actually are this dynamic duo, which I think is awesome. I mean, LaShonda, what she does and what I've seen her do on a net has been great, especially for helping out women postpartum. I think is beautiful. Do you find that combination of what you do and what she does has been beneficial for how you guys have helped out your clients?
Yes. So typically what happens is they will come to, primarily they come to my wife. My wife is LaShonda Jones. She's co-owner of Core Elevation Fitness and Wellness. They'll come to her because she has a diastasis recti program or some other stay-at-home mom program where women are trying to lose weight. And typically, the weight loss from a physical activity standpoint will get you to a certain point.
Right.
In order to break through to your new plateau or your new normal, where you lose more weight, you need to have nutrition in there. And she would always bring me in and say, hey, why don't you talk to my husband about this, because what you're telling me sounds like it's good, but there's something that doesn't sound right to me.
Right.
So then she'll bring me in and I'll listen to it. And for the most part, a lot of people will have done their research on the net.
Right.
They've done everything, but I'll start asking them like, well, what time do you wake up? What time do you finally eat?
Right.
What are your, do you have anything going on? Do you have any thyroid problems? When was the last time you actually talked to your doctor? What do your labs look like?
Yeah.
What is your vitamin D? When I start asking these questions that typically maybe their nutritionist or whoever they've been talking to have not asked, I'll ask that.
Right.
And have you had any kids? How long ago?
Right. Okay.
I just ask a lot of questions, so I can get a better understanding of where they really are. And then I will pair and create an individualized program for them in that specific instance, because everyone's different. I can't give you one program, even though I do have a meal plan that you could pick and choose from. Everyone's individually different. So what I have for one person is going to be different. And I do pick and choose from various diets as well.
Right.
Because people have to live and have to do what works for them. Because if I try to pigeonhole them into what I consider a standard diet, it's probably going to fail. Probably going to stop after about a week. Maybe if they go to the grocery store. If they are person that doesn't go to the grocery store, maybe 2 days.
Wow.
So I have to. That's where my skill comes into play. Is that I really look at the person, try to figure it out, and work with them to figure out what is the best plan, course of action for them.
That's really cool, man. I really appreciate you breaking it down for us and telling us how not only what the differences are and what it takes to get to each one of those, but then how it can be practical, especially tied to what you guys do when it comes to nutrition, health, and personal training. I think it's really important for people to know the differences, but then also be able to balance the two. It's almost like you need both.
Yes.
And I think it's actually okay to have both. And you should look into that and really consider that. Especially if you're dealing with any type of medical issues, you don't want to solely lean on just your nutritionist in that regard. They'll be able to help you to some level, but definitely have a dietitian who's going to be close to your doctor, be able to have the conversation. In some cases, maybe have them collaborate. Or in Core Elevation's situation, you got a 2-in-1 when it comes to what they do and what they got going on, man. I really appreciate this, man. I hope this has helped you guys out, guys, and appreciate the time. Peace.